If you've ever built a modern website in Framer, you know the feeling. Managing color styles by hand? Well, it can quickly turn into a total nightmare of inconsistency and, honestly, just wasted time.
It really can. So today we're talking about how to stop that. Our mission is basically a masterclass in efficiency, and we're zeroing in on one specific, really powerful tool, the Framer plugin known as Jenifer.
Or, its official name, the Color Palette Styles Generator.
Exactly. We've pulled together a pretty straightforward 10-step workflow. And this isn't just about picking nice colors. It's about building the DNA of a really high-quality, scalable design system in just a few minutes.
Right. The goal here for anyone listening, especially if you're on a big project, is to just completely bypass that whole manual process.
Okay.
We want to generate styles that are grouped, that are named logically, and this is the big one, that automatically push changes across your entire project.
You're basically putting your color system on autopilot. But before we jump into step one, a quick check. You'll need three things ready to go.
Okay, what are they?
You need Framer open, obviously. You need that color palette styles generator plugin installed. And you should probably decide on a palette name right now. Something clear like brand colors or summer palette.
Because that name is going to dictate how Framer organizes everything.
It dictates everything. It's your filing system.
All right, let's get into it. The foundation of this whole thing, the base color. Step one is just accessing the tool.
Yep. You launch it from the plugins menu, and it just shows up as a panel, usually on the right side of your screen.
So once it's open, you see a few key controls. There's the base color input, something called Style Source, a palette type drop-down menu, and then the big button, Create Color Styles.
That panel is your whole world for this. And it all starts with choosing that anchor color. And you've got three ways to do it.
The first one is pretty standard, right? The visual color picker, just a box and a slider.
Exactly. The square for saturation and lightness, the slider for hue. Most designers will feel right at home with that.
But the second method, manual input, that seems crucial for professional work.
Oh, it's absolutely essential. I mean, if you're working with brand guidelines, you're not guessing. You need precision. This lets you input the exact color code.
And it takes the big three formats, HEX, RGB, and HSL. Now I get HEX and RGB, but why would a designer bother with HSL if they already have, the HEX code?
That's a fantastic question. It's all about systemic control. So if you input a color as HSL hue, saturation, lightness, you get this amazing mathematical control.
How so?
Well, let's say you need a slightly lighter version for a hover state. Instead of just eyeballing it and maybe shifting the color accidentally, you can just increase the L value, the lightness, by, say, 5%. You know for a fact the hue and saturation haven't changed.
So it's predictable. You're moving from guesswork to precise mathematical adjustments. I like that.
It makes those subtle system-wide tweaks incredibly easy. And then, just to round it out, there's the third option, which is just a random color button.
For when you're just starting from scratch and need a spark of inspiration.
Exactly. It's a great way to break out of your usual habits.
Okay, so we've got our starting point, our base color. But a single color isn't a palette. Now we hit this really critical decision point. The style source.
This is the fork in the road. The choice you make here really dictates the whole mood and outcome of your design. You have two main strategies to pick from.
All right. Option A is from palette type.
Which is based on mathematical color theory rules.
And option B is from image colors.
Which, as the name suggests, extracts colors directly from a photo.
So what guides that choice? When do you pick one over the other?
It's all about your goal. If you need variety, if you want to leverage proven color harmony for a new design, you absolutely choose from palette type. But if you need to match a brand photo perfectly or just capture the exact feeling of an image, you go with from image colors.
That brings us to a really powerful feature then.
Yeah.
The image extraction. You can just drag and drop a picture right into the plugin.
Yes, and this is where it gets really flexible. The plugin analyzes the image and pulls out all the dominant colors, even gives you the HEX code for each one. But what's really cool is how you can use that information.
Right, you can just use those swatches it found directly by selecting from image colors.
You can. That gives you an exact match to the photo's vibe. Or, and this is the really clever move, you can click on any one of those extracted colors.
And it sets that as your new base color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can borrow the mood from, say, a sunset photo, but then use the power of color theory to build a structured mathematical palette around that mood. You get inspiration and structure.
That's the best of both worlds. Okay, so let's say we're going down that color theory path, the from palette type route. What are the key choices there?
This is where you're really deciding on the emotion of your site. Let's touch on the four big ones. First, monochromatic.
And when would we use that?
Monochromatic is your go-to for complex, subtle UI systems. Think dashboards, enterprise software. It's just shades and tints of your one base color, so it's very clean, very professional. It conveys trust.
Okay, so what about the opposite end of the spectrum?
Yeah.
Complementary. That's high contrast, right?
Pure boldness. It gives you your base color and the one directly opposite it on the color wheel. You use this for things that need to scream, "Look at me," like a call to action button or an alert.
So you use it sparingly.
Very sparingly. Overuse it, and it just becomes visually exhausting.
Got it. High urgency versus low-key functionality. What about something in the middle, like analogous?
Analogous is all about harmony. It uses colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. The result is super smooth, very natural. Think of, the colors in a forest.
Hmm.
It's easy on the eyes, great for portfolios or sites with a lot of content.
And the last big one, triadic. What's the thinking there?
Triadic gives you 3 colors spaced evenly around the wheel. It offers more variety than the others, but it's still really balanced. It's perfect when you need to differentiate things like 3 pricing tiers or sections in a chart without it feeling chaotic.
And there are others, of course, like split complementary, square. But the big idea is you're choosing the entire mood of your design with this one dropdown.
Exactly. Now we get to the fun part. Customization and creation. Step 7 is setting the scale.
Right. How many styles do we actually want? You can choose between 3 and 20. And the preview updates in real time as you move the slider, which is super helpful.
That immediate feedback is vital. And that brings us to steps 8 and 9, which are all about organization, the palette name. We talked about this, but it is so important.
So if we name it Client X UI and hit that Create Color Styles button, what happens inside Framer? How does it organize them?
It creates this beautiful nested structure. It will be palette name color label. So you'll see Client X UI primary, then Client X UI color 2, Client X UI color 3, and so on.
And that grouping keeps your styles panel from becoming a total mess on big projects.
It's the key to staying sane, which leads us to the huge payoff, application and propagation.
Propagation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. This is the magic bullet, isn't it?
It absolutely is. So you apply these styles to your fills, your text, whatever. Now imagine the nightmare scenario. You've built 200 product cards and the client emails you.
Oh no. Can we make the blue just a little bit darker?
Exactly. 10% darker. Manually, you'd be clicking for an hour, hoping you didn't miss one.
I've been there. It's awful.
But with this system, since everything is linked to that Client X UI primary style, you just adjust the style once, one change. And it instantly perfectly propagates across every single one of those 200 cards.
That's a whole value proposition right there. Speed and consistency.
It's non-negotiable for professional work.
So let's quickly hit some pro tips from the source material.
Okay, first, a reminder on strategy. Use monochromatic for your subtle UI, your backgrounds. Then leverage complementary for those bold CTAs. Let them serve different purposes.
And keep your palette names descriptive. Client X brand 2025 is going to save you a lot of headaches later compared to just palette 1.
Definitely. We should also cover troubleshooting, just in case. What if you click the button and nothing happens? No colors are generated?
What's the likely culprit?
Almost always one of two things. You left the palette name field blank, or you have an invalid base color. The plugin needs both to work.
And what if you're using image extraction and the colors just look wrong, like all muddy or too dark?
That's usually the source image. If you use a very low contrast photo, like something taken in a dark room, the algorithm struggles to find enough variety. Just try a clearer image with a better range of light and dark.
That makes sense. So we've covered the whole workflow, the 3 ways to start, the strategic choice between image extraction and color theory, the power of naming, and that incredible propagation benefit.
It's the difference between, working with a messy pile of lumber versus having perfectly measured, pre-cut pieces ready to assemble. It's all about that upfront organization.
Okay, so for everyone listening, if you've taken all this in, what's the next step? We mentioned you can generate anywhere from 3 to 20 styles, but here's a final thought for you to consider.
Right. The source mentions using fewer core styles, maybe just 3 to 5 for your primary UI, and then adding supporting colors for accents and states.
So this raises a really interesting point about mastery, doesn't it? The temptation is to just max out the slider and get 20 colors.
It is, but what if you strategically use that number of styles control to limit yourself? What if you focus on generating just 5 perfect colors? That restraint, that focus on a tight core system, can actually lead to more scalable and predictable designs that are easier for your whole team to manage.
So instead of more being more, maybe true mastery is about finding that perfect, essential few. That's your next level.